What's going on, Nomads and Drifting Podcast listeners? I'm Brian.
And I'm Monica.
And welcome to our podcast, Backspace Nomads, where we talk about our nerve for games, movies, and all the dork in between. On the podcast today, we're creating the Gaming Olympics, discussing nerd trailers, and previewing the last 2 weeks of game releases in the good, the bad, the indie. All right, Monday morning Nomads, it's February 25th. This is episode 48 of the podcast. Let's start the show. Monica, what have you been up to? I've missed you.
I've missed you too, Brian.
Have you really?
No, well, yeah.
No. How dare you?
Well, I had to think about it. How much have I missed you? There are definitely days where I went and I watched you stream for a little bit. That was a missing moment. I didn't see a tweet or anything from you. I just was like, I wonder if he's streaming.
Yes.
And I found you, and you were, and it was great.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I know you've been playing like a shit ton of Fortnite, but yeah, it was great hanging out with your community and everything, and they're fun. Nice. And this week's just been a busy one for me. But gaming wise, I was able to spend a little bit of time streaming and on the Backspace Nomads channel on Twitch. And I was trying out a game that we're actually going to talk about a little bit later with the good, the bad, and the indie. It's called Kingdom Come Deliverance. And, I didn't really quite know what to expect with it.
Did the kingdom come?
It was a good game to stream because I was able to provide a lot of commentary on the commentary. Like, I also just instantly, in the beginning of the game, you're kind of going through the tutorial. They're teaching you elements of the game and everything. And I instantly, the first person I walk up to, I punch him. I was like, okay, let me, this is how I fist. I can throw fists this way. I punch somebody. You can't do that in that game. I got chased around by a guard for about 10 minutes before I surrendered. I was put in prison and the prison caught on fire and I died. And some people were watching and they're like, this is the most entertaining start to this game we've ever seen.
Yeah.
You're really bad.
No, that's definitely a classic Monica streaming right there.
It definitely is. It definitely is. So I enjoyed that. I know I haven't been able to stream on the channel as much, but I'm hoping to get back into that at least once a week. Yeah. So it was fun to hang out with everyone and play. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I checked you out while you're streaming. I was kind of nostalgic for your old streams. You are very ridiculous when you do it. And I was kind of like, that's like your type of game too. It's like, that's the game she used to play. Like, that's it.
Brian, I know. I actually was watching some of my old things where like my viewer accounts. These are old videos. I gave one of my moderators away as a gift for the next thing. We named one of my viewers penises.
On gifting.
Yeah.
Sorry,
you had to.
Too good.
The next threshold I wanted to reach, we got to name one of my viewers penises. He agreed and his wife agreed to call it that. I was watching these things. I was like, I was so freaking ridiculous. And it was definitely fun. I had a lot of fun streaming Kingdom Come because it allowed me to be very goofy.
Yeah. Definitely. I enjoyed that.
How about you? Were you at Disney again? Your favorite place on earth?
I was at Disney. Today, my girlfriend, Susie, ran the Princess Half Marathon at Disney. It's the longest marathon type of thing they do there, where they get to run around and they run through the highway system and then through the parks and stuff. They take pictures. And she completely completed it. So congratulations to her. I know she listens to us like a dork. So good job. You did it. I believed in you the whole time. So that was fun. Very, I don't think I've ever seen a funnier sight driving than going down a highway and looking at an overpass filled with just marathon runners dressed up as princesses, male and female. Males wearing the tutus and the wigs, and all the females are rocking the mermaid outfits and stuff. It was a ridiculous sight, and I've never gone to one.
Yeah,
it was like a circus. It was so much fun just to be in that environment. You know what I mean? Kind of like why I dig Orlando, because there's so much weird here, and enthusiasm for Disney that people turn out for that type of stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
sounds
so
fun.
that was my day to day. Other than that, like you said, I've been playing Fortnite.
Yeah.
Um, the competitive fire inside of me has been reignited.
Oh
The-
no. So you have anger issues now.
I deal with them better. N- Instead of being angry, now I just feel empty inside.
Oh,
So
okay.
I don't take it out on anything except for, I guess, like, the amount of beats I have left in my heart. That keeps going down. Uh, but I haven't felt competitive, like a competitive drive in a video game for a very long time, and I
Yeah.
forgot how much I enjoyed it. Like I
Yeah.
enjoy, like, you know, it's the battle royale system. The match gets down to it's like one on one, right?
Hmm.
And so like you just have that adrenaline like pumping through you. It's like you and another guy. You just spent 20 minutes to get to this point, and everything's going on. And like I missed that, and I had no
Yeah.
idea I missed it. You know.
Yeah.
So I've
That's
really been enjoying
awesome.
Fortnite. It's
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people are jumping into that right now, and it's like really
huge,
reigniting a lot. I mean, not just with Fortnite, with PUBG as well.
definitely.
Um, but it's pretty exciting to see. I mean, if those things didn't give me anxiety attacks, I'd be playing with you. Would you do duos with me?
Yes, I would. Oh,
It would
what
be
a
horrible. It would be horrible.
it would be something.
It would be something. It would
Yeah,
be. Yeah,
try
that's
to
awesome.
try to
I'm
punch
glad.
everyone in the face.
Yeah.
I can build you a jail cell. We can-
Yeah. You could just leave me. It would be fine.
You know what game we do need to check out together though?
Hmm.
Vermintide 2.
Oh,
That just came out in
there's
closed
another.
beta.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
I've been checking out people playing that. I was like, this would be hilarious for us.
Mm-hmm.
This would be hilarious. Other than that, I've been checking out the Olympics all week, Monica.
Have you?
Boy, have I! I've been in the throes of the ups and downs. Does America win? Do they lose? Apparently,
Yeah.
we lost more than we won this year.
Yeah.
Norway beat us out. Um,
I was watching some curling at the bar last night.
how did we do?
I don't. I was drinking quite a bit, but
Hmm.
it seemed like things were going.
We got gold, Monica.
Oh, we got gold. We did.
We got gold for the
We
first
got-
time in curling history. We brought the gold in for the
Oh, I'm
red,
so
white, and
proud
blue.
of us.
I am too. I was
I
tearing
missed
up a little
that
bit.
part.
Most people probably did. Curling's not the most exciting sport. Definitely fun. But, it got us thinking this week. If there were Olympics for gaming, what would we be doing? So all the gaming characters and video nerds out there got together and we're doing this thing. What would the events be? And so
Yeah, yeah. And
we came
also
up with a list.
I think like too, just that there's definitely like different games have different dynamics to them that make them
Mm,
their own genre, you know?
yes. Mhm,
And like and a lot of games will reuse a technique or a tactic or a type of
mhm.
gameplay that maybe they put unique spins on,
Yep.
but like a good example of this would be like breaking pots. Like that might have started somewhere, but you do that in so many games now,
Yeah, it's just a staple.
and so there are themes within games for
Mhm,
sure. Um, which yeah, like you were saying, we put some thought into what are
mm.
some of those themes.
Boy, did we. Our first event, the stealth shooter. Monica, tell the audience about the stealth shooter. And
So
it,
the stealth shooter is an endurance squatting competition.
ooh.
It requires prolonged periods of crab walking in an uncomfortable position that allows for stealth by somehow being lower noise levels. So even though you are walking in a way that wouldn't be natural to you, and you probably should be making more noise because you're
Mhm,
shuffling and your butt's out directly in the air. It's just very weird. And
yeah.
you're lower, and you would think that your feet would be rubbing more on the ground. You're actually not,
Mm-mm.
because these Olympians don't fuck around. Athletes,
Aerodynamics.
yeah, athletes are judged based off of um, volume and length of time they can awkwardly travel a map.
Mm,
So their noise volume is what we mean by volume here, not the volume of their gluteus maximus. and the length of time they can awkwardly travel across a map.
uh, let me introduce you to the athletes in this category, Monica. I want to get your thoughts and opinions on these.
Okay.
Our first contestant, Solid Snake from the Metagear Salad team.
So when I think of Snake, he is definitely a top athlete as
Mhm.
far as endurance squatting goes.
Been in the sport
I
a long
feel like
time.
I've watched that man go through entire fields and forests with his butt nearly dragging on the ground. So definitely a lot of work in the preseason here,
Mhm, mhm,
and
mhm.
probably a fan favorite.
Sure, absolutely. Next up, probably someone who's copied Solid Snake's style more than any other competitor, Sam Fisher from the Splinter Cell series.
Sam definitely has a similar technique.
Hmm.
He tends to have a little bit of more funkier flair and style, but again, that doesn't necessarily, the tech doesn't necessarily add to the. It doesn't matter what you wear in this; it matters how you crab walk. You know what I mean?
Nice. You don't get
So
style points.
but Sam is a solid athlete as well.
Hmm.
Big buns on that man.
Is that part of your judging? Big buns. It's gonna make it in
It's,
there.
I mean, I know he's quiet, and we're not judging based off of the volume of the gluteus maximus, but I feel like Sam Fisher has a good big bun.
I'll
So
agree with that. Let's move over to the youngest competitors in the field, the Assassins from Assassin's Creed, the newcomers to the genre.
So I can't really comment on their buns because they tend to be really like in a lot of clothing and cloaks and that kind of thing. So I guess I'll just have to focus in on their actual athleticism, unfortunately. Disappointing.
God damn it.
Uh, um, so the assassins, as far as volume goes, are top notch in their field. They have
Mm,
spent a considerable amount of time really planning out how to keep the volume down. The length of time that they can awkwardly travel a map, though, has been up for, there have been some concerns on that.
okay.
Despite being ass ends, which, is contributing to the gluteus maximus muscle, they are oftentimes, caught and surprised by different dynamics. They tend to not be able to squat as long. Volume, though, again,
Yeah,
their noise volume is one of the best.
absolutely. So who's gonna take the gold home on this one?
It's actually going to be Snake.
Solid Snake.
Solid Snake.
All right.
He goes home with the gold. Snake can literally squat across any terrain.
Hmm.
Um, he never seems to get tired. And the way he can move his knees without getting uncomfortable at any age is just phenomenal.
Phenomenal. Well, let's leave the stealth shooter field and moving over to the battle royale arena. Let's talk about the bullet dodging freestyle. Tell the audience about this competition.
All right. So within the bullet dodging freestyle, athletes are put up against extremely dangerous courses and allowed to use their own techniques to dance around flying objects, also known as bullets. Judges pay attention to creativity, desperation, and general flight or fight response. Fight or
Mm,
flight response. So in this sport, it's just a matter of like different techniques.
mhm.
People can create their own dance around this, and
Nice.
Brian, I think if you can introduce the
Oh,
athletes here and talk a little bit about the
sure.
techniques that they have.
Well, first up, we have the kind of, I guess, the second comer to this, the PUBG. PUBG is kind of coming in the middle of the road. It didn't. It initially invented the sport, but then it went away for a while, and then its coach came back and like really brought this team to the forefront.
Yeah.
Um, PUBG's style about dodging bullets is really kind of about if you can't be seen, you don't have to dodge the bullets at all. They're
Yes.
You're gonna be
Lots of
spending a lot of time.
hiding.
Yes.
Hmm.
Uh-huh. You're gonna be running in the open field for long distances, not around a lot of people. And then once you hear someone, you're gonna hide for a little bit. It's a solid technique, but I don't know how the judges are gonna feel about it because you're not putting yourself into the action.
The dance is definitely a slow one. It's a
Hmm.
slower dance. There's something to be said about slow dancing, though.
Sure.
You know, it's awkward. Um, if you don't know your partner very well and their
Mm.
groin or your groin are like pushed outwards towards them, that can be weird. I don't know. Slow dances can be interesting.
Interesting, definitely. Uh, the next athlete we have up in the category, probably the newest one to the genre, Fortnite from the Epic Games. Fortnite is more of a chess players type of dance. It's what are we going to be doing next? What is this other opponent going to be doing? And how do we react to what they're building? And how do we respond? It's a thinking man's dance. I
Hmm.
don't know how the judge is going to deal with this one. It's complex.
It is complex and it's new and different. And, you know, we haven't really seen a lot of these techniques and a lot of these moves before,
Mhm.
especially with the building, the rapid building and everything. The
Sure.
desperation is 100% there. You're so desperate, you're building a house. You know, that's a
Yeah,
weird thing to do.
it
It's
is.
weird. Yeah, not sure how the judges are going to respond.
Sure.
Agreed.
Sure. Uh, and finally, the last athlete in the category would be H1Z1. H1Z1, a always known in the competitive world here, had a big year in 2016 and just kind of went away to practice his form and style. Came out, did some bug fixes. Uh, more the old school players like to hold on to this and support this game and cheer for it. And a lot of people have moved away from it. I don't know if the judge is going to take into account that most of these other games are kind of standing on what they built, you know?
Hmm. Also, H1Z1 has a unique dance. It's kind of tried and true,
Hmm.
much faster pace than like a PUBG,
Hmm.
with lots of sashaying. There tends to be a lot of running, a lot
Beautiful.
of running, a lot of shooting, a lot of and sashaying is
Yeah,
the one the two major moves. Beautiful technique.
it really
Um,
is.
Definitely a common one, but there's a beauty behind it.
There's definitely an art. Now you're sashaying left. Now you're sashaying right. Oh, he's still sashaying right. Now he's going left. That's H1Z1. All right, so let's take it to the podium, or well, who got the gold medal on this one?
The gold is going to the newbie in the space, Fortnite. Fortnite has made defense, flight or fight, desperation. It's brought it
Mhm.
to a whole new level with the building
Definitely
aspect.
innovative.
It was like nothing the judges had ever seen.
God bless him. All right, let's move away from the battle royale arena and let's move into our more mountainous terrains for the action adventure. Monica, let's tell the audience about the A to B race.
Okay, so the A to B race requires lifting or moving heavy objects in order to manipulate a space and open a passageway. So
Hmm.
basically, athletes here are up against some type of object, puzzle type situation. They have to get things into a particular position and then a door will pass and
Ooh.
it's timed. So athletes are judged based on the time it takes to solve this puzzle, their poise and ability to move objects much too heavy for their stature, and the number of hernias and hemorrhoids they have at the end of their strain. So at the end of this competition, they are taken to the Olympian doctor. We found a good one. No perverts here, and they then
That's a
count the
good one.
hemorrhoids and the hernias on the body, and they attribute that to a point system. It helps you against the judges system.
Sure. So let's introduce ourselves to some of the athletes. First up, we have probably one of the early adapters to this type of competition, Link from the Legend of Zelda series.
long time
Hmm.
um
Hmm.
long time champion here. He has been through many A
Many.
to B races. um Definitely knows how to grunt, how to push, and how to manipulate objects that seem to be 4 to 5 times his size. Impressive, really.
It really is. Um, I just remember from a couple of podcasts ago the grunts he would use in his competition just
Oh yeah.
just blow you away.
Hmm.
All right, next up, our next competitor, probably the most creative of the group, the Wolf from Okami.
So a clever competitor here. The time it takes to solve puzzles can vary, but the puzzles tend to be unique, and once you lock into them, the poise and ability to move objects around definitely exists. This is a strong competitor. Lots of interesting puzzles that the wolf has taken on in training, and it's a little different when you're trying to get the number of hernias and hemorrhoids on a wolf. They have to go through a full shave after, so you can see, all the issues. I feel like this is a strong competitor in the space, and interesting and new. But I feel like the wolf is definitely a strong
Definitely.
competitor.
Wolf Four Legs went out against two. Who knows? Next up, the female athlete for this competition, Laura Croft from Tomb Raider. How do you feel about the Laura Croft?
Laura is exceptional at having a very slender physique and yet the ability to move massively heavy objects. She is
Tight
been
core.
training in CrossFit heavily. She moves lots of tires around and just tends to really embrace that culture. She's been
Mhm.
embracing that since it became popular a couple years ago. And so to see her into this competition, you look at her and you think she looks kind of frail, but yet she is capable of moving boulders. So
Yeah,
exciting! Excited to see where we land here.
the inner spirit of a champion, really.
Hmm.
Uh, so moving over to the podiums. Who's taking the gold in the A to B race?
The gold is once again going to the champion of the A to B race, Link from the Legend of Zelda series. There is just
Link.
Link gets it. There is just no way around it. Link is a beast with
Yes.
moving objects around in order to open passageways. He is great at it, and
Mhm.
it is going to be hard for anyone else to take this medal away from him in the future.
That's old school knowledge. You can't beat that. They don't teach it anymore.
It's true.
So that's the gaming Olympics if they ever were to occur. I think we got some good contenders for events.
I
If anyone wants
agree.
to, here's a so let's move
I
into
love
our
that, by the way. I really love that there really are so many like overlapping themes in games, and we
yes.
notice it. You tend to notice it, especially when you're looking at indie games. When it's
Mm,
like a big release, you just kind of accept it for what it is. But with indie
mm,
games, you tend to say like, "Oh, these games are copying these other ones."
yep.
There's so much, like touching between like ideas and everything between
Yeah.
games. Like we could have made this like 3 hours long.
I know. If you just take away the art from games, it's almost the same as that game. They're using the same gimmicks and stuff. It's just like a fresh coat of paint on top of it. Um, so let's move into the next segment we want to do, which is kind of new for us. We've never done anything like this, so it should be interesting. But we recently went and saw Black Panther to review here on the podcast, which we loved, highly recommend it. And before, there was just a plethora of nerd movie trailers inside of it. So we kind of wanted to come on the podcast and take a look at some of the ones we saw at the Black Panther movie and some of the ones that are still floating around there on the internet for things that are still going to come out this year but weren't in the Black Panther release. So let's watch some of these trailers and talk about them. First up,
Great.
we have Deadpool. The trailer Meet Cable. So let's watch Deadpool.
Okay.
I was born into war, bred into it.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Deadpool looks like such
Understand pain.
like I'm so nervous for the Deadpool sequel because the first one was so good. And any kind of sequel, you're like, I don't know if they can kind of recapture the magic, you know?
Yeah.
It definitely looks like it. Cable looked amazing in that. He looked
Yeah.
amazing in that trailer.
Cable. is definitely, I think, the highlight of the trailer. I had a hard time with the first film. I felt like a lot of the jokes were there, they threw too much out there.
Okay.
And while I was like enjoying it initially, I got fatigued. Um,
Mm.
I do feel like the trailer. So this trailer that we just watched, and the one where they were, so in this trailer, he's like doing like he's playing with the actual characters and everything. In the one that I saw for this, he was Bob Ross and kind of painting
Oh,
different
yeah,
stories.
yeah.
I've seen that one too. Um, I don't know. It's not really landing for me. Like I will go and see
Interesting.
this, but I feel like it's
I'm
almost like
shocked.
try hard. I feel like it's a
I'm
little try
shocked.
hard.
You can't do this to me because Deadpool is the only one that's ever brought my favorite characters from the X-Men series and done it justice, and that was Colossus. I
Yeah.
loved Colossus in that movie. And then Cable is one of my all-time favorite comic book people, and Josh Brolin looks like he's just knocking it out of the park. Who knew that's the kid from Goonies? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He looked like
Yeah.
an assassin from the future who's gonna save the world or end it. I'm
Yeah.
so pumped for this.
Their casting and everything in this is great. I'm excited about that. I just
Mhm.
hope that it's not, for me personally, it just seemed to, like I said, a little fatigued, exhausting with like the back to back jokes throughout the entire thing.
Sure.
It just didn't
Okay.
seem like we got to jump into the story too much.
And looks like they didn't take that one guy out, TJ Miller.
Hmm.
Interesting choice. All right, next up, a big gaming one. A big gaming one. A return
Yes.
to the Tomb Raider series without Angelina Jolie.
I know. And I loved those films too. So
Yeah. All right, let's check out Tomb Raider.
sounds
Official
good.
trailer number 1.
What's your name?
Laura
Surname?
Croft.
I am pumped for Tomb Raider again. I can't believe it. I thought I was gonna hate it.
Yeah, I would go and see this. I'm interested. It feels definitely following it seems like a similar format.
Mhm.
With like Dodgy, Dodgy, I love you, Dodgy,
Yeah.
but I'm okay with that. I am intrigued by it. Some of the scenes, the cinematography, and the way that they shot some of the action scenes are
Mhm.
really interesting to me and exciting. It feels like they're following a little bit more of a similar format to the more recent games where
Yeah.
she just has like a million ways to die and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
And I do think that that's really intriguing. Tomb Raider as a whole is just a strong franchise,
Mhm.
and I think I would be supportive of it. The trailer doesn't like, I'm not getting goosebumps watching it.
Oh, I did.
Did you?
Yeah, yeah. You just
Yeah,
can't tell. My arm hair is not as long.
yeah.
And, um,
My arm hair is not. God damn it, Brian! Just because I have long arm hair.
well, I absolutely love that trailer. I love that they're going with like the more grittier, harder Lara Croft feel.
Mhm.
I loved all the like all the things that just look like they're from the video game, like kind of like the symbolism. Like she's falling down in the river. She looks like she's about to get a big branch to the throat.
Mhm.
She's got the climbing pickaxe or whatever that she's using to
Yep.
grab. Like I
Yep.
love that. It's so good. But where's the big fat dude with the beads around his neck? How did he not make the cut? He's the most lovable character from that game.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll just have to see. We'll have to see what they do with the characters and everything.
Okay. Let's move on to the next one. Kind of a weird throwback movie back to an old video game, Rampage, starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Let's start this one.
It's weird. You like hang out with animals more than people.
Yeah, well, animals get me. I rescued George when he was 2 years old. George never would have survived on his own.
He definitely trusts you.
Last night,
Like, who would have thought they would have brought Rampage to use?
George was 7 feet.
It's like-
500 pounds.
So I know it's a weird game. Rampage is a weird game
Yeah.
for it to be put into like a movie.
Mhm.
But I really feel like for that specific reason, that's why this trailer is so exciting to me.
Yeah.
I love this trailer. I love the excitement. I love just the kind of the one-liners. I love any action movie has to have like ridiculous one-liners if it's going to be a
Yeah.
little bit corny, and you can't do Rampage and have it not be a little bit corny.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I just feel like they really embrace that, and I really enjoy that about the game itself.
Yeah, and this
I
definitely
mean,
feels
about the trailer itself.
sure. This just feels like they're taking on like the summer action movie and running with it and like not caring, you know, like we're just gonna do a big over the top action movie, have a little bit of a story, but that story really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And watching The Rock, you know, he's just so lovable to watch. There's something compelling about him in an action movie where you're like, God damn, I hope he makes it out of this one again. I don't know what's
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Yeah.
Super weird that
Yeah.
they pull out Rampage though. It's like I immediately got thoughts of that old a couple of years ago they came out with that Battleship movie, like based off the board game. You're like, what? And like when's like these kids don't even know what Rampage is nowadays. This movie, like, we're probably the last generation to know
Yeah.
about Rampage.
That's true, but maybe they're gonna learn.
Oh yeah. If
I
I
don't
have a
know.
kid,
This trailer definitely, watching it for the first time I saw it, I got excited about it. I was
Yeah.
like, what is this? This is so ridiculous. But I am also a lover of just trash film.
yeah.
And I don't know that this is going to be trash, but I definitely think it's going to give that that fan service.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely. Yeah. Especially like, dude, if I had kids right now, I'd be like, get your ass in that goddamn van. We're going to see Rampage, all right? You guys don't know about Rampage. I do. Next up, the return of Steven Spielberg to the big action movies. I can't remember the last time I've seen a Spielberg movie like this. Ready Player One. Let's start Ready Player One.
My name's Wade Watts. My dad picked that name because it sounded like a superhero's alter ego, like Peter Parker or Bruce Banner. But he died when I was a kid, my mom too. And I ended up here. Sitting here in my tiny corner of nowhere. There's nowhere left to go. Nowhere. Except the oasis.
Oh, it looks so good.
I hate it. I fucking hate it.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you. I did not get excited when I first saw this in theaters. I saw it in theaters and I was looking at it and I started thinking like, do I like this? Do I like this? But it seems a little too corny for me, dude.
All right.
The Ready Player One, it's building off of a concept that's been around for a long time and really honing in on it. So that in and of itself is interesting. But I've seen too many films that are focused on gamers.
Mm-hmm.
Not like an actual game, but focused in on gamers.
Yeah.
Just being really almost jeopardizing to who we are as a human. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
we're a threat to society.
Yeah, it's like this. That for one, the writing doesn't tend to have to be good. Like it's just we're talking about gamers, so everyone's gonna go watch it.
Yeah.
I don't know. There are elements of it that I like, but I'm not loving it. You feel different. You're excited about it.
Because I, for one, love fan service. I am a nerd. It's what we do. I can't wait to sit there and be like, oh, look, there's Tracer. Ooh, Chun-Li. Oh, look at the DeLorean. I'm going to do that the whole movie. And
You're just going to scream it. You're going to get the DeLorean. Yeah.
Am I getting kicked out?
I don't know. Maybe everyone will just be screaming that.
I said, yo, bro, I'm in the Oasis. Leave me alone, all right?
Yeah, I'm not like the concept of the film itself, just, escapism and then like having to go after the game to save it. And it's just the one guy that is living in the shanties of Columbus, Ohio in the future.
Shanties.
It just feels too
Champagne Supernova.
cliche for me. A little too cliche.
Okay, I could feel it. Based off a book, and you ever heard about the book at all?
Yeah, I have.
I never heard about it until the trailer, so I'm all pumped for it. All right, the last one on our list, saving the best for last. Solo, a Star Wars story. Let's see what Han Solo has in store for us.
Okay.
I've been running scams on the street since I was 10. I was kicked out of the flight academy for having a mind of my own.
Solo, a Star Wars story. Why is Han Solo not having any good lines in this trailer? I didn't feel like. No, I'm not kidding you.
He's like, see that? We're fine. We're fine. That's a Han Solo line.
It wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't. It didn't feel like him. It didn't feel like him. Now maybe age, changed him over time or whatever. It wasn't.
Harrison Ford fangirl.
Where were maybe a little bit, maybe I'm a little bit of a Harrison Ford fangirl, but where is the quirkiness? Where's like the little shifty smiles? Like, where is all of that? Where's the charm? Where's the charm? This guy seems serious.
He is a little serious. Maybe this is the sincere Han Solo before he put his walls up. He's got to get his heart broken a few times before you get that swagger. So you're like, nothing affects me anymore.
Yeah, I think for me in particular, I am a bit of a Harrison Ford fangirl. I definitely thought I was going to marry him when I was about 6 or 7 years old. It took me a while to realize that wasn't going to happen for me, but I learned a couple years ago. But I just don't feel like he brought a certain personality to the character. And I just feel like that's a little bit lost in this trailer. The action itself, the CGI is incredible looking. I'm excited for those elements, but this is a story about a critical character in the Star Wars universe. And I'm a little bit worried about what they're going to do to him.
Sure. That's true. I could almost see a bit of the Han Solo character in Woody Harrelson. He kind of had that, like, when he said, I'm putting the crew together, that kind of like he's the dude, So maybe he's got to learn to be the dude from Woody Harrelson. I'm excited for this. And then maybe Lando Calrissian, that look on his face when he's like sitting there with his hand up to his mouth, he's got that sheet and grin. Oh my God, it killed it, man. I love that trailer. I am so pumped for this movie. I love all the off-brand Star Wars movies. I loved Rogue One. I'm ready for this one.
Yeah, I agree. I'll go see it, but I am nervous. This is a nervous date for me.
I'm just gonna point this one out to you. We just went through 5 trailers, and the only thing that piqued your fancy was a over-the-top action film starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
It's true, but as I've said on previous episodes of the podcast, I am a little bit, as far as like action movies go, and as far as comic movies go, I'm a little bit beat up with them. I feel like that is where the majority of our movie watching experience is headed. And I feel like they get lazy a lot. So I am more hesitant, especially with Star Wars,
Sure.
I don't want to see some of these characters that I really, invested my youth into loving and idolizing and fantasizing about for years and years and years. I don't want them to be ruined for me. Or maybe I do. Maybe I need a clean slate. You know what I mean?
I hope they get ruined for you because and I'm gonna if they're not good movies, I'm gonna blame it on you and your lack of enthusiasm in the trailers.
Okay, that's fine. We can too. You can blame it on me. I accept that.
I'm actually pretty excited to see all these movies, and I guess we can talk about them on the podcast whenever they come out. You know?
I'm excited. I'm predominantly excited for Tomb Raider, Rampage, obviously, but that's just one I know. I know I don't have to think about that one.
Yeah.
I know that it's intended to like what its intention is.
Okay.
Ready Player One, I feel like could possibly surprise me. Deadpool, I'm nervous about, and Solo, I'm nervous about.
All right. I am pumped for all 5 of them. Sign me up.
Okay. I signed you up.
I wasn't literal. Where'd you sign up at?
Fandango.
Oh, thank you. All right, we're gonna head to break, and when we come back, Nomads, we're gonna be doing the good, the bad, the indie. Stick around. See you guys on the other side. Thank you for sitting through that break, Nomads. Coming back, we're getting into the good, the bad, the indie. The good, the bad, the indies, where we look through all the new releases of gaming and bring you our opinions on what games you should play, the ones you should avoid, and the indie games that you need to be putting on your radar. This episode, we're looking at games released between February 11th and February 24th. First up,
There were a lot of games in that section too. I have to say, like in general, I feel like we had so much more to choose from, and it's
Yes.
really exciting. It's been really exciting the past few weeks. It's nice to have to like really whittle it down, like which one you want to
Yeah.
get the category rather
Mhm.
than like, holy hell, how do we fill these?
Yeah, like they're like, were there any good games at all? No. This week it's just out of the park. Thank God we're
Hmm.
past the new year. First up, the good. The good for this week is Faye, developed by Zoink, published by EA. This is an action adventure game released on the 16th to the Nintendo Switch, the Xbox One, PS4, and PC. Faye is a new type of platform adventure where the story is up for you to discover without handholding, told wordlessly through the discoveries you make during gameplay. Run, climb, and glide your way through a dark Nordic forest and explore its living, breathing ecosystem filled with secrets and mystical creatures. What do you think about Faye?
Was really excited to list this as our good, mainly because of some of the unique elements to the game. The art, the colors of the game are really interesting. It's almost like an open world a platformer, or like it has some Ori and the Blind Forest like
Oh,
color
yeah,
elements to
sure.
it that it seems to pull from, and I think it's just really interesting in general. Um, in response to I don't know, cute, adorable little creatures that you talk to with music.
Yeah.
The main character you're playing is this like fox type creature, and you actually get to sing to other animals and
Mhm.
interact with them and learn their song. And you have to go up against, this kind of open world. You can jump, climb trees and everything. I don't know. It just seems really exciting. It was definitely unique.
It definitely is. This almost feels like a response to the indie game movement that's going on in gaming right now, and it's very interesting for EA to come out and take a swing and publish a game like this under their wheelhouse. This game is absolutely beautiful. Like you said, the color schemes you're using are just gorgeous. They're deep, deep tones, like uh hit up against like overexposed lighting and stuff. It is just a fantastic game to look at. From watching the gameplay trailers, I think one of the biggest things that I want to do is jump from tree to tree in this game, back and forth, and just play around in that. Like just like use this game also like a sandbox to jump around in a forest.
Yeah. Yeah. I like like I said, it feels a little bit, the style feels almost a little bit like a platformer.
Hmm.
It's almost like a platformer, like Ori meets like Assassin's Creed,
Okay,
where you
I can
can
see that.
jump and
Yeah,
dive and like interact with different things. I don't know. It's really unique. And
yeah. And then the soundtrack. Oh,
yeah.
the soundtrack is outstanding for this game. Uh,
Hmm.
and I don't know if in the trailer they're definitely using music from pop culture. I don't know if that made it into the game or not, but
Hmm.
just listening to some of the soundtrack and the score from the actual game, this is really really good work. Definitely, it's weird because like in any game you always get very interesting visuals, right? But sometimes the audio is just like lagging behind. It's not. It's really hard to go out there and like find great music.
Hmm.
And apparently, with the money you get from EA, you can just go out there and get a phenomenal soundtrack made for your game.
Yeah. It's not without any type of commentary towards like some of the controls have been listed as slightly clunky.
Mhm.
And there have also been talk about how the story is not super obvious because it is more open world.
Yeah.
So it can feel, some people have said it can feel a little bit aimless at times.
Mhm.
However, I just think that the unique elements of this game, as well as the art style and the music, just make it a home run. And it's definitely at a good price point.
I agree with you. $20. That's like for an EA game. What are
Yeah.
you doing? Good
Right.
job, EA. Kudos. We're
Kudos.
and no paywall. There's no DLCs for this, whatever. It's just $20. Here you go.
Yep.
All right, moving
Step
on.
in the right direction.
Finally, you think Gamers is doing work? You think that's why?
I think so.
Next up, the bad for the week. The bad is Play Cube with Uncle Billy. Play Cube with Uncle Billy was developed by Bones and Ewan Peng, published by Bones. About this game, experience the difference between cube games. Small cube of different shape formed by the board gradually fall from the top of the screen, allowing the player to spell out the complete one or several of the bottom of the screen by adjusting the position and orientation of the cube. That's an
Okay.
actual sentence written.
That's literally one of their sentences. But beyond that, this game is fucking Tetris.
Yes, it's Tetris.
This is Tetris, 100%. And what they've done with it is they've taken Tetris and they've drawn Uncle Billy, who seems to be a slightly perverted uncle. He's got a little bit of a pot belly and some pink undies that he wears. And he is a little bit of a freak. And they've taken Uncle Billy.
A little bit?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
They've taken Uncle Billy and they have put him on these cubes. So you're really just playing Tetris with a bunch of little drawings of Uncle Billy. I will give this game, despite the fact that it's just like Tetris, it's just Tetris with some drawings on it.
Yeah.
I will say that the drawings are pretty hilarious.
These drawings are some of the funniest things I think I've ever seen in gaming. If it wasn't for just the straight ripoff of Tetris, this would not make it onto the bad list. These drawings are hysterically creepy and bad. And Uncle Billy might be one of my favorite, like, perverted characters ever made. He's right up there with Leisure Suit Larry. He is on that level of character design.
Yeah.
It's just a straight Tetris rip there. It's like, what are we doing here?
Right. He also, I think the soundtrack to this is just pretty, mediocre music. But the nice thing is that they did give Uncle Billy a voice. He does a lot of oohs and ahs and ooh, ooh.
Nice.
So there's not a lot to this. I mean, it's $1. This game costs $1. Really though, like it's not. It's a rip, they put some fun artwork on it. It would be possibly fun to stream for like 10 minutes, but this isn't something you're going to dive into, for hours. So
it's an opener for the stream.
Right.
The warm up. All right. Next up on the list, the indie for the week. We talked about it a little bit earlier. Kingdom Come Deliverance, developed and published by Warhorse Studios, released February 13th, 2018. Kingdom Come Deliverance is a story-driven open-world RPG that immerses you in an epic adventure in the Holy Roman Empire. Avenge your parents' deaths as you battle invading forces, go on game-changing quests, and make influential choices. You've been playing this one, Monica. What do you think about it?
So I was hesitant about this because it was a Kickstarter. It is an indie game and it's priced at $59. It's $60. It's a $60 game. And you don't normally see that price point on an indie game. So I was hesitant. However, I thought, man, I really feel like that is a bold move for an indie game and I should definitely check it out.
Yeah.
This is a really gorgeous game. The RPG elements on it are fairly standard. The quests are, I would say, similar. But what's beautiful about this is that you truly feel in some of these scenes, in some of these cutscenes, that you are watching a film. They have done an exceptional job of turning this story into almost a movie that you're watching, rather than just a character and some pretty cutscenes that they cut in. I've actually never started up a game and felt so much like I was going to be controlling a part of a movie.
Really?
Yes, it's very interesting. Also, I feel like the combat itself is unique. It's a little difficult. It's different than a lot of other games that I've played like this. And you're in first person, and you have to be pretty precise with how you fight. I would say that there The thing I was a little hesitant is that some of the art style, it does seem a little bit aged,
Yeah.
not horribly so, but it's not quite there. And then other times it feels really on point.
Mm-hmm.
The music is beautiful. I guess the cutscenes, if you're not a gamer that wants to watch a lot of cutscenes, this is probably not the game for you.
Sure.
They definitely have a lot of story. There's a lot of story in this one.
So we're gonna unpack that. I know the combat system is what a lot of people were being sold on this game in the first place. It was a big thing on the Kickstarter. It was very interesting to watch how realistic this combat system was. You couldn't take on a bunch of guys at once. You know, you're basically doing one-on-one fighting with people, maybe one-on-two, and you've got to hit the right maneuvers at the right time to really make it work. And that's super interesting. Story-wise and overall, this game really, to me, comes off as like Skyrim for adults, for the more serious game player. The amount of questing that is in there, how you affect the world, really does feel like a Bethesda experience. They're kind of unique in the way they take on games in the games industry. Bethesda is, and it looks like Warhorse Studios made like a solid headway into like being known just like Bethesda as, if you do this, you're gonna ruin this quest and you might not be able to finish the game ever.
Yeah, actually, one of the very first experiences I had was that I had I participated in a negative interaction with one of the townsfolk. I didn't have to participate in that, but when I did, it actually impacted the way I was responded to later on in the game, when I was not expecting to be even talked to about this. I was talking to some other people. Someone runs up and they're coming to me to talk to me about this action that I had done earlier. And it was very surprising for me.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that's impressive.
Right.
There's just a lot of really, it's a I don't want to say complicated. It's an in-depth game.
Sure.
The story is heavy, but the actual game elements are in-depth and very well thought out. And I have to say that where I was hesitating initially towards this price point, I can see the work that went into it, and I think that's where it deserves to be.
Yeah. And I think the best comment I've heard about it is that like it almost comes off as a simulator and not just a game. Like this is a night simulator. You know, you're gonna.
I heard peasant simulator.
I guess it depends on how you play it. All right, so Kingdom Come Deliverance from Warhorse Studio. You can find it on Steam for $60. I'm so like close to jumping in on this one, man.
I think you would like it.
Yeah,
you like RPGs, and this is a strong RPG.
Yeah, I love them. I love RPGs, so I might do it. All right, that's the good, the bad, the end for the week. And that's going to do it for the show. Episode 48 is in the bag. If you guys want to find us at backspacenomads.com, you can also hit us up on our YouTube, youtube.com/Backspace Nomads. Or if you're a podcast listener, we're available on Apple iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. See you guys next week for episode 49. Later, Nomads.
Later.